Rabih.
Hello.
Casi 10 años después de esta magnífica exposición que hicimos, digo magnífica porque fue una recopilación de todo su trabajo. Os he traído aquí el catálogo y luego lo podéis ver, lo dejaré por aquí también, que se llamaba Image Mon Amour, es esta exposición, Fabrications. Y entonces resume toda la idea que tenía Rabih. Coge, ya que estamos en un ciclo de cine, las Histoires du cinéma de Godard y la Hiroshima Mon Amour de René. Ya veremos por qué esta exposición mezcla esas dos películas, ¿no? Bien, mínimamente a Rabih Mroué no le gusta que se le presente como un artista libanés, porque es de Líbano, de una generación de artistas que han crecido durante la guerra 1975-90. Como él decía, yo vivía en la guerra y no me daba cuenta de que había un mañana, y entonces el problema es que luego se tuvo que enfrentar a ese mañana. Y desde entonces hasta ahora ha estado trabajando entre imágenes con imágenes para intentar comprender algo, to try to understand something, ¿no? Vamos a hacer ahora unas preguntas con imágenes, dado que estamos en este ámbito también de cine y de imagen, y después, si os parece, os pasamos el turno a vosotros, para que hagáis alguna pregunta. Entonces, las preguntas que yo le haga a él, debido también a mi macarrónico inglés, que puede ser una mezcla de euskera, de inglés, de francés y de castellano, pero las imágenes pues dicen que valen más que 1000 palabras, así que vamos a dejarnos guiar por ellas, ¿no? La primera vez entonces que me encontré con Rabih Mroué fue en una jornada de estudios de la imagen con Pablo Martínez en Móstoles, que se llamaba Historias que no se han escrito. Y 2 meses después estallaba la Spanish Revolution, es decir, las revoluciones de la primavera del 2011. Entonces, Rabih estaba haciendo esta exposición en Inglaterra, o en Leiden. It was made this exhibition when you erase the name. So that was very, very nice. Can you explain, please? Porque la exposición se llamaba Yo, el abajo firmante. La tenía toda montada, toda estupenda, y entonces de repente estallan las revoluciones y dice, yo no puedo hacer yo. Entonces le dijo a la curadora, por favor, ¿puedo quitar yo el abajo firmante y cambiarlo por The People Are Demanding? ¿No?
Right.
So, can you explain, please?
Yeah, this was in 2011 or 12.
11.
Yeah, 11. It was like the beginning of what is now known as the Arab Spring, the revolutions in some cities in the Arab world. And it was like the exhibition was planned before the revolutions started, and it has a title which is I, the Undersigned. And when the revolution started, and it's like the main slogan was the people are demanding. This is like very famous one. So we decided with the curator Cosmin to change the title. So what we have done, it becomes like the title by itself a work, which is I, the Undersigned, scratched, and beneath it, the people are demanding. So, and this created a lot of problem with the graphic designers, because they don't familiar with something scratched, like said like this can't be. Why can't be? This is a revolution. No, anyway. So it's the title by itself. It became an artwork by itself, like and also an action in response to what's happening in the region from where I come. But at the same time, the piece that is shown there, which is also called The People Are Demanding, it's in a way, it holds inside it a criticism about this sentence itself. The people are demanding. Because the revolutions at that time, and still now the revolution in Chile or in Lebanon we have a revolution now, and some other cities coming up. Like the main aspect of it is that people have freedom of speech, democracy, elections that really represent the people, is not cheated, etc. So mainly it's about individualism in countries where it's either religious or dictatorship that are dominating the country and the people. So the citizens actually, they wanted this freedom. And the fact that the slogan, the people are demanding, it's actually the people, it's, I think it's like in English, maybe you correct me, David. In Arabic, at least, it's singular. So the people is. Absolutely. And moreover, the people is masculine. And which is really problematic. It's not like today, for example, in Lebanon, we are celebrating the word revolution, الثورة, because it's a feminine word. And we are celebrating it. Like, yes, we have a ثورة, and it's mainly a feminine one. So this is actually, it was like the criticism about this, like, it's the people, like it makes all the citizens as one person, which is not true. We should find more voices, and this is freedom. It's not one voice, it's not one mass of people, one color, one characteristic, one whatever. So it's like each individual is different, and there are different voices, different opinions, different political projects, etc. And there is a democracy, let's say, peaceful fight between them, or struggle, or like debate, better word, between them. So the people are demanding. It was, for me, it was a bit skeptical about this, because we came from societies and countries that most often our voices are appropriated by other authorities or other powers. So there is something that we want to change, and because we want to change, we say like, okay, now I will give up my own beliefs or my own things just because for this purpose, and then my voice is appropriated, and then I become like a number that this leader or this party count with for their own agenda and for their own benefits. So that's it. It's a long thing. Be careful with me.
And I was a curator who watched the war on the television screen when I started to work to you, because I was not a specialist in Lebanon, and I was a spectator to the war in TV. A kind of people who my eye was formed in the media, no? But fortunately, I show this film, Je vais voir, that in a kind of
it's like give a reference to the reference also to Hiroshima, Mon Amour.
It's Catherine Deneuve that want to see like in Hiroshima, Mon Amour. In Hiroshima, Mon Amour, she was to the museum. I show everything in the museum. I show the pictures. I saw that. That was to me a kind of alibi to be your curator, no? As something that see the events in the media. And after that, I think you are and you make a research with the images. So I image you Mroué between the images or what lies between, because in Spanish you are always speaking about imagen presencia, imagen ausencia, imagen latencia. Es muy, muy importante tener the latency of the image, no? Mm-hmm. The images you can see, but it's here and not.
Yeah.
And imagen falsa, imagen testimonio, imagen viral, imagen arma, weapon. No? So Rabih Mroué is always working with the images. So Lepecki is it's very, very good scholar of dance studies, say about you. Rabih Mroué appears as a mix of public intellectual actor, critical theorist, historian, forensic investigator, political theorist, and stand-up comedian. So, do you feel well with this kind of...
I feel like I'm wearing a coat for someone bigger than me. It's like it's a little bit, which is like, no, it's very... I'm honored that Lepecki says this about me, but it's too much maybe. Yeah, I worked a lot with like, there are like something correct, because I always try to pretend like I always want to be like a philosopher. But I didn't study philosophy. But I have this pretentious to be a philosopher. Why not? Like, because philosophy is also, everyone can be a philosopher. Yeah. So it's like, and for me, how I understand philosophy, it's something related to what Aristotle says, that it's what distinguishes us from animals, because like we can, and this is not proven, huh? Maybe animals can do it, but at least it's unproven that animals can formulate abstract ideas. Like so, this is something that distinguish us from animals. Like we can talk about justice, injustice, democracy, for example, like notions that are abstract, huh? And this is philosophy in a way, and philosophy is being human, simply. So this is how I understand philosophy, and I always have this pretentious. And I try always in my works actually to make reflections, to deconstruct, to think in front of the audience, to show my process, how I reached this idea or this question or this image. What does it mean? I do it step by step in front of the audience. And it's always, for me, something that is not completed. It's not finished. So there's no conclusion. So it's still open. Which means like it's something that to give the audience to participate afterward, like with their thinking, to think with me, to think together, to share together. So in a sense, yes, it could be, and this is maybe from where the word forensic came, from Lepecki. He put it like forensic. It's maybe a reference also to forensic architecture a group that are based in London. They do amazing works. And they are also friends. So there is something common, and there is something like, of course, different in the logic of the work. Although I'm a big fan of forensic architecture group
Yes.
and Eyal Weissman.
That's really à la mode. But yeah, I know you want to be a philosopher, and you like concepts. You like a lot Jacques Rancière, and I know. But I think images and documents and bodies in theater are particular, are the big abstraction. So I think you go to the abstraction through the documents, for example, your family.
Yeah.
And this is your father, you remember?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Father, son.
Yeah, this is...
your aunt, because...
this is from my aunt, this
your
word.
aunt, this is a piece who Rabih give to the K12M, terrific, because it's a collection of snow. And this is a kind of story, very, very nice. Please can explain this.
Yeah, actually, this is something that, a work that from my aunt. My aunt, usually she used to collect, to record. Whenever there is noises on the TV, it's not TV we call, or noise TV, she starts recording them because she believes that this is something not by chance. It's on purpose. There is a subliminal message from the enemies of Lebanon that are sending messages. So she started recording them and tried to decipher them, to know what is this conspiracy that's going on. And of course she could not manage to do anything, so she hired an expert to decode them or to decipher them. He wrote like a report for each record, because she has all the time, she has like the date, the place, what was the program, what was interrupted, the time, and what was the main political event happening in the country. So these are things. So this expert wrote reports about each Snow TV, and here are only 5 examples, but there are a lot, like really a lot of... she did it for many years. And the reports, actually, they do nothing, just describe the image scientifically. Like white dots with black dots, there is a line going, the white dots more than black dots, with like very scientific expressions and words, terminology. Sometimes I don't understand what he means with this or that. But also there is something that is fascinating with these reports, that he describes mostly the movement of these noises, the movement. And for me, it looks like as if he is describing a dance piece, like as if it's a notation for a dance piece. And that's why I was interested to show this work. So it's simply what I did is just, there is the story that I told. There are reasons of the noise TV in Lebanon, because we have it, till today we have it all the time, for many reasons. For many reasons, the electricity cut, the bad signal because of the equipment, because of the weather, a lot of like normal things, huh? But I don't know, this is something also related to the Lebanese people and to a lot of other peoples in the world, like this conspiracy theory, that there is something happening and we have to know what is it.
And I think you are an historian, because you rewrite narratives and discourse. through your family, or
Yeah.
for example, phase A, phase B,
Yeah.
and the old house. The old house is a piece, and in video, you can see the house demolishing and grow up.
Going up, yes.
And a little text that says, I'm not telling in order to remember, on the contrary, I'm doing so to make sure that I have forgotten, or at least to make sure that I've forgotten some things, that they were erased from my memories, amnesia, and experience to the world. I think this piece of the old house is una comprensión of all your concerns.
I remember we show it in the exhibition. I always show this work in the exhibition. It's a video of almost 1 minute, maybe less, or it's 1 minute video. We put it on loop.
It was fue muy emocionante porque él dijo todo el texto en castellano, entonces estábamos todo el día entrenando para decirlo en castellano, y no, esta palabra no se dice así, se dice así, no quiero hacer esto para recordar, no quiero hacer para... Entonces fue muy emocionante esto. Y
the Pixelated Revolution.
Llegó Pixelated Revolution. No? The Syrian protesters are recording their own death. This sentence really struck me, dijiste. I thought, how could the Syrians document their own death when they are struggling for a better future, when they are revolting against death itself, their moral and physical death, when they are fighting for life itself. You don't agree with the sentence.
I don't agree.
With the sentence, the Syrian protesters are recording.
Yes, they are not. It depends how you take it, but no, for me, they were not recording their own deaths. Actually, they were trying to record at that time. And we're talking about the revolution in Syria and its beginning, like the first 1 year and a half, 2 years, where it was really a peaceful protest movement. There were no arms, only the mobile phones to record voices, banners, dancing, singing. This was how it started for 1 year, and the regime was shooting at them. And actually what they wanted to do is that to record the crimes of the regime. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want to shoot their own deaths. Maybe they wanted to shoot, to report for the whole world what's going on in Syria, because the whole world was watching and without interfering. And the Syrian regime was like killing and torturing and etc. Until today it's the same. And the world is still watching. And it's like almost a genocide, almost, by this dictator. So actually, what I found out is that there is a collection of videos, or like videos that they are the same logic. I found them on the net, where there were always, like, you see a blurred image, like a nervous one, and then suddenly you see someone with a gun, like this person there, and then this soldier, he looks to the lens directly, and then takes the gun and shoot, and then you see the images like going down. So what does it mean? It means that there is someone behind the camera, Orchon, was filming, and this soldier or this man, sniper, whatever, saw him, and there was an eye contact between the killer and the victim, and then he shoot to kill or to destroy the apparatus, but actually to kill much more. And the images doesn't show this violence, actually, because the victim is always out off camera. So you don't see blood, you don't see corpse, you don't see anything, just like blurred images. And this is like, I found it very interesting to work on these videos. For example, if there is no sound in these videos, it's not easy to understand what is going on in the image. So you need the sound to understand. Of course, without the sound you can, but it needs a lot of effort. With the sound, it's much more easier to see it. So I found another another video, the same thing, happened in Chile in 1973. There was like a coup d'etat, but it was an attempt of coup d'etat. It failed, the first one. And in this first one, which failed, there was a cameraman working for a journalist agency. He's Argentinian. And he was filming the army that was like trying to make this coup. And they shoot him and they killed him. And then later they found the camera, and it was not a video, not a mobile phone, it was a camera, 16 millimeter, I think. They found it in the garbage. They took it, they give it to the national TV. The national TV, they developed the film, and then they discovered that this film belongs to this man who was killed. And they decided immediately to distribute it to the whole world. But before they send it, it was a film without sound, because the sound is separate, nagra, it's called, like the sound. So usually they separate the sound from the image. So the images has no sound. They thought that to make impact on the whole world, the world opinion, they have to reconstruct the voice, the sound. So they did actually a soundtrack, and you can see it. You can search on YouTube. You can find the one that everyone saw it at that time until today, which is like the sound was done very quickly, and they actually just added the bullets. So you see, like, for example, in the premiere plan, people running, but you don't hear them. You don't hear steps, but you hear the bullets of the background of the... And it's just like, actually, to make it easy to the people to understand. But this is actually, it put on this document a question: what is a document, and what is a fiction, and what is a real? And this is another topic that...
Well, this is the last work in Madrid, Ducado Mes. It's called Mediterranean Sea. The room is dark. There is a cello. There is a kind of phantom in the world,
the one
playing the cello, 1 minute in loop, and a projection with Rabih in the water.
And the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, it was...
it looks like a pool here, but it's the sea.
Yeah, it's called Mediterranean Sea.
Yes.
So very sad, very sad, very, very sad, very touching.
Yeah.
And after, I couldn't see this work, but it's called, how is it called?
33 RPM and few seconds.
Yeah, it was...
RPM is Trente-Trois Tours, the vinyl, which is called like 33 revolution per second, per minute.
Yeah, there is nobody
RPM.
in the stage.
Yeah.
There is just
machines.
Machines, yeah.
Working,
devices, Facebook, and the man was dead.
Yes.
So I think it's incredible. You couldn't really go after Grotowski the theater. No?
Yeah, it's a work that I did with Lina Majdalani, my wife, my partner, about an activist who commits suicide for personal reasons. Not for personal reasons. He said that it's for conceptual reasons. So he's activist. Just to give the background, he's activist, and he was so active during the Arab Spring at that time, in 2012, 11, and he was also training other people to how to work as activists. And to be really effective in this struggle. And in the midst of this hope in the Arab world, he commits suicide, leaving a letter saying that I commit suicide not because I have any psychological problem or love problem or social or economical, whatever problems. I have nothing. People loved me. I loved people. I have everything what I need. But I believe in freedom and to liberation. And I'm convinced that life is a big prison, and I want to go to the limit, so I want to free myself from this big prison. So this is what I've done. And this has created a big debate and a big conflict between the activists themselves, because how come one is training us to go and fight for better future, and he's saying this life is prison. And at the same time, the government and religious power also, they were afraid of his suicide because they thought maybe he will be another martyr like Abu Aziz in Tunis, who incinerated himself and ignited the revolution because he burned himself. So they were afraid that he will ignite a revolution in Lebanon. So he was attacked from everywhere, he was misread, but created a debate, and actually it revealed a lot of how our society think, the mentality of the society. So this is why they did this work, and the work is actually empty. Is the stage? There's only his room, supposedly his room. With his laptop, his mobile phone, his telephone there also with the fax machine and the TV. They are all still on because he was in his room when he killed himself. But he is not there. So he is dead, but everything is still alive in his room. So his Facebook page is still working as if he's still alive. Some friends talk to him as if he's still alive, why did you do this? Where you betrayed us? Or some of them, they were discussing. The TV also, there were reportages about him, debates about him. There was a mobile phone also that is all the time ringing. People want to talk to him. And one of his very intimate friend was recording on the answering machine messages for him. So it's a whole life that is still alive, but his physical body is not there. So, but his presence is still there. And the piece is it's a play, a theater play, but with no actors on stage. So it was also a question how one can deal with representation today, how to represent.
Yeah, I chose these pieces because there is no body.
Yep.
And you disappear and everybody disappeared. But you continue, and I would like to choose some 1 minute from this borborygmus.
Borborygmus.
Yeah.
It's the...
Oh. No va?
There's no sound. You have to... you have to do the... okay, sorry. I have to go to the... I cannot see. To the preference system.
Yo. The Becky need to add another things to mechanism, technician.
It's borborygmus is the sound of the stomach, the rumbling.
You can see it in YouTube. But there is a group, there is humor, there is... I think there is not some... You are not concerned about fact of the war or post-war, but about effects in the body. So, can you please explain
this is a piece, it's the last piece that I did in collaboration with Lina and a friend, Mazen Kirbaj. We wrote it together and put it together on stage. Simply, it was a work about our desperate situation. We were like really with no hope anymore about anything. So we did this piece. It's very dark, but at the same time there's a lot of humor inside it. And a very sound sonic piece at the same time. I just want to say that we went to Beirut to show it in October, and then there was a revolution started. So we did not show it, and we were happy that with the revolution, because actually it showed us that there is hope, while the piece was saying that there is no hope. So, and this is a picture this is Chile and Lebanon and Beirut.
Your last work.
Santiago and Beirut together, nice. So, so there's hope now, but it's too difficult. It's not easy. This hope, it's so little, and it needs a lot of care and a lot of work to grow. Hopefully.
Si quieres, María, abrimos un poquito un turno de palabras.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it was we did this 2020. Yeah. It's the production of 2020.
¿Alguna pregunta más?
Don't be shy. Go ahead.
No hace falta grandes preguntas filosóficas. Pueden ser curiosidades también.
You can ask in Spanish, and David will help you.
Bueno, pero las quité de cara a que podía haber preguntas.
You were talking at the beginning about being kind of a forensic performer, and I was just wondering if you use mainly found footage, or you do your research in internet and you work with video or documents you find in your research, or do you do yourself also your like image previews and and maybe related to that, how does it sound to you to being an archaeologist also?
Mainly I work on found footages and images and objects, but of course when I found them, when I have them, I rework on them, which means like sometimes not sometimes, it means that I interfere. And interfere, it means in the cinematological language, means like I edit, I cut, I add, I take, I put, so it's reworked. Archaeologically, yes, of course, like I like this word in art. Especially like when one, and I always like try to do this, I encourage also other artists, especially emerging artists, to be very specific and to like something that they know what they are talking about, like one spot, and go down with it. So deep with it, like, or like make archaeology around it, so to be in more specific and in detail, and not talking about general things, so talking about something very specific, which makes more sense and more relevant. And I'm personally, I'm not afraid if there's a lot of details and nuances that a foreign audience will not understand, because I'm talking about a very specific thing that is, let's say, local, from my country, from my city, from my quartier. So how you will understand this? I don't afraid of this, because I think audiences, people are intelligent enough to understand, even if there are some nuances are lost, it's fine, because they will bring other nuances that I will not get. People will get it from their own experience, from their own history, from their own life, and from their own reading. So it's in a way, it becomes mutual.
Yo quería deciros que se puede descargar el catálogo. Si vais a la página del K2M, ponéis Rabih Mroué, Image Mon Amour, tenéis aquí el catálogo para descargar.
Yeah.
Y Rabih fue muy generoso, very generous, porque en el catálogo están textos de 4 lecture performance, que es Who's Afraid of Representation, Theatre in Oblique, 3 posters, The Inhabitants of Images y Pixelated Revolution. O sea, está todo el guión, todo el texto de lo que realmente soporta todo su trabajo con las imágenes, ¿no? Este montador que es, este cuestionador, esta persona que pregunta y que es filósofo. Entonces, aparte de su trabajo visual y de sus instalaciones y de sus vídeos, el texto de estas lecture performance, o como él le gusta llamar, non-academic lectures,
non-academic.
está recogido aquí y francamente, bueno, pues es un material muy interesante para leer.
Just like one information that this book is free to download, and it's very easy. You don't need to subscribe or whatever. It's just one click
just
and
click.
it's there.
Sí.
And you got it. Yeah.
That's the effect of Spanish Revolution.
Yeah, which is good.
We can have the catalog for free. Sí. Y además un catálogo de 434 páginas y tal.
Etcétera.
The technician, philosopher, researcher,
I'm not all of this.
poet.
I know little from everything.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Here. Well, you are Rabih, right?
También.
I just wanted to know, because I was curious about you were born in Lebanon, right? So how do you find yourself in this artistic way? I mean, how do you know what was your way, your passion? Because I'm studying right now documental things. I'm going through the artistic way, and because you have many ways in life. So how do you find yourself there in your country, and because of your father, because of your mother that tell you something, or I don't know, or because of friends, or that's my question. You understand me, or no?
I thought at the beginning I understand now.
Okay.
Then at the end, when the family came, friends, I lost. What?
It's just that. No. I know how to say in English, but in Spanish I'm also very chaotic speaking. So
Okay.
I was saying that I was asking that how do you find yourself? Because I think that in Lebanon it's not the same like in Madrid or there, because of the situations you have there. So my question was, how do you find yourself in means of your artistic or your studies?
Okay.
Why are you doing this, or why you are not a philosopher or archaeologist, or that's why are you an artist? That's my question.
Okay.
It's also very philosophical, so yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I wanted to be not philosopher in reality. I wanted to be a musician, but I could not make it. So it was by chance that I was introduced to theater. And I went to theater, and I stuck in theater. Now I'm trapped in theater.
Yeah, but first you was in the action.
Huh?
First of all, you was in the war. During the war, you was.
But this is nothing to do with the art.
No, nothing to do. But it's another.
Yeah. So to tell you. Why am I an artist? I don't know, because I have to do something to live. Huh? No, seriously, but I know that art, you cannot live from art. And so this is why, I love art, I love music. So I was doing art all my time, in my free time. So, and this is most of the artists in Lebanon, and the theater makers, most of them, they do their career in their free time. And in the real time, they have to find a job to earn money to live. And this was my case as well for at least 15 years. I had a full-time job working, and when I finish my work, I go and I do theater. And I was doing this. I didn't expect anything from theater. And I don't think theater was expecting from me anything as well. So it was very good relationship. Just doing it seriously. And I learned a lot from this. I learned a lot of things. Mainly, I can tell you what I learned is that first that I was independent from the market, from money. I was not waiting for funds to do my artworks because I was working, earning money. I have no fear to be hungry or not to pay the rent. So I have the money, and in my free time I was doing this, so I had to do it for my own joy. So I don't want to please anybody. I don't want to ask for anyone to give me money. I was doing it from my own money. But of course this means that I'm not a rich man. I was really poor. And I was doing poor theater, not in the Grotowski's sense, but in the sense of production. Poor productions, like really low-budget production. And you can see this in all the works that we showed here. They are really very low budget, all of them. Till today, I don't know how to use money in order to do theater. I've been offered now, luckily, no. But really, I've been offered for production to do like bigger pieces. Like now, if you want money, we can find money and to have like said, but I don't know how to use this money. I don't know how to work with 10 actors, for example, or like I don't money this machinery in stage or. So I learned something very important: how to be free in my work. And this free or freedom, also I put it into yeah. I put it there because freedom also, it's not 100%. Huh? It's also relatively freedom. And this is another topic.
Cuando hicimos el agua de Mediterranean Sea,
yes, thank you.
Se marchó a una tienda a unos chinos y compró how many cost, you know, la tela, the stuff, ¿cómo se dice?
Cloth, yes.
Yeah. You go to the magazine and you buy
yes, yeah.
14 euros o algo así.
Yeah,
y esto le costó, ni pidió al museo, ni a mí, ni nada. Él se fue corriendo, cogió 14 euros de tela, las puso por el suelo y hizo una proyección. Y así todo.
Yes.
O sea, las fotografías que tenía, haciendo performance, las puso en la pared chiquititas, no eran los grandes Cibachrome para vender luego en Arco y esas cosas, ¿no? So the production was very, very cheap.
And today, to be honest, like there is a lot of facilities for us to produce work, especially videos. Like it's, I still don't understand like those who wait for like 5 years to get money to do one project. This is the cinema thing. It's still till today like this. And I don't understand it. There should be a way to do like work without like waiting for this huge amount of money.
Having conversations with friends in Lebanon that were other artists, and kind of you were chatting a lot and having conversations, and I think that was part of the development of all of you as artists.
Right.
And I guess my question is two questions. One is, how do you see that, and how do you see that working with others or thinking with others then and now? And also, when or how do you decide when you are going to develop a work on your own, or when do you develop a work as a collective with other people? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, for like few years, there were like a bunch of friends. We were meeting every week to talk, to discuss, to exchange ideas, etc. And it was not focused on a topic. Like every other week, it changed into another thing. So sometimes it's philosophy, sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's a film, sometimes politics, etc. And this has really helped me a lot. Like to talk with others is really very important, to discuss with others. Nevertheless, we insisted that we are not a group. We are individuals and individual artists that are gathering and talking together. But we were all the time conscious that we didn't want to be as a group. Because for many reasons, one of them that we don't want anyone to be shadowed by the other person, or like to be like under a group. So everyone was doing her or his own work separately, and we were gathered. Sometimes we discussed the work before it happened, sometimes no. But this has really opened a lot of things, a lot of horizon for me and for the others as well. And I encourage like people to make this kind of small gathering and to discuss things, like to discuss book every week, or like what's going on in the country politically, to invite someone who's specialist in something to explain to them, etc. It's really very helpful and really very healthy also to one keep on working. I now miss it a lot. I don't have it anymore, and all my friends the same, unfortunately. But everything has ended, has an end at the end. At the end, everything has an end. Right?
Hello. What do you think is the benefit of being an outsider from the philosophy world? Because I think it's positive that you don't come from an academic surrounding. Maybe like how does that affect your work? I guess there is a very positive side to that, you know, always being an outsider, looking in, having that, you know, seeing it from another place than the philosophy people would. I don't know. I studied philosophy for a year too, so I'm kind of there. I also am influenced, but not so much that I finished the degree. And another question, easier, and that connects with the one that she made, is what were your first like motivations to do art when you were younger?
What? Sorry?
What were your motivations to do art when you started?
Intuitions?
Motivations.
Motivations. Okay. Thank you. Listen, it was a sort of a joke that I'm a philosopher. I'm not. It's like now becoming serious. No, it's not at all. But what I meant, like when I do a work, an artwork, whether it's a theater work or like in a non-academic lecture or a visual artwork, I always try to not to tell. Rather to think. So the idea is like not to tell a story. If I tell a story, it's actually to build after it or to deconstruct it in order to formulate a thought, an idea. And this is what I call looks like philosophy. It's like when you put an hypothesis, or you put a question, or you make like a formula and you try to apply it. So what I don't do at all is like to tell about horrors or about suffering, because like it's just like it's fishing for sympathy and like feelings, tears, etc. Or so this I don't do. What I look is like to share with you thoughts, and these thoughts are really uncertain. It's still weak or still not solid, that permit you to think with me. And this is what is important. It's this share which like do unfinished work or like unfinished ideas or like work that inserted in it a lot of uncertainties and doubts and gaps that give you the opportunity to fill and to think with me. And this is what I prefer rather than feeling. And to be an outer side, you said, outsider. It means stranger in a way, huh?
In a good way, I mean.
It's a good word. I like it because it's always good to be an outsider in a way. It's good to meet your partner as if you are meeting him for the first time. Not to take anything for granted. Like you know the person very well. You have been with this person for like 10 years or whatever years. But each time you meet with this person, as if it's the first time. It's not easy. I cannot say that I can do it, but I would love to do it all the time. And this is very important, not to take the audience for granted. To say like, oh, the audience loves this or like this or like... No, it's each encounter, it's for the first time. It's not like, oh, I know now, I can do it like this. So it's also good to meet yourself as an outsider as well. Like this means that you have to ask yourself everyday question, why I'm doing art if you are an artist. Every day, why I'm doing art. And this is really exhausting. No, seriously, I'm not joking.
Absolutely. That's why I asked you, what were your first motivations? Once you're asking yourself constantly, why am I doing this?
Like the motivation is just like to do something interesting for me and for the people that I will present for them, but in the first hand for me.
Yes. Hello. I have a question that is not about your work specifically, but might touch it. I've been wondering about the difference between the political dimension in artistic work and artistic works that use politics as a matter, as some kind of materiality.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there is exactly something like that or not, but I was wondering if you could tell me something about that or something about this difference between politics as a matter and politics as some kind of dimension of this encounter that art produces.
There's a lot of art that is done for the sake of political propaganda or for a political party or like a fair humanistic cause, etc. There's a lot of artworks like this, and also there is this difference at the same time, which I for me, like I try to differentiate between them. I don't do art to serve any political party or idea or propaganda. I think this is, even if sometimes it's a fair cause, like, you think that it's really good to defend those people, so you do an artwork to defend them. I think art is not, it's not the role of the art to do this. This is my personal opinion. Art is not a sort of activism. Art, in a way, as I understand it, it's a platform where you open a discussion. It's not a place where you go to the podium to convince people to follow you. It's not like a politician. Otherwise, it's like the role of the politician, to come to the podium and start like a talk in order to convince and to expose his ideas or his program, if he will be a president or whatever. Art, actually, it's like, you have to imagine, it's like a tribunal where there is a court, a trial, and there is the victim and there is a perpetrator. They are both present on stage, and each one has the voice to speak, to defend himself, herself, have the time to speak, and then the judge is not there. It's not on the stage. So it's a trial without a judge, where you will give the place for your enemy, to let the enemy speak, if enemy, without judging, just give. And this is something, I think it's violent for someone like who suffered from a perpetrator and put the perpetrator on stage. Like, it's, in a way, I understand theater. It's where you provoke yourself. The artist provoke himself or herself before provoking the audience. It's where you betray your beliefs and start to question yourself. Say, what if this is Stanislavski? What if? But what if, and also in different ways, in a political sense. And this is important, and this is not activism then. And when you want, and I'm not against activism, by the way, but I do activism. I'm activist, but I don't do art. Then I cannot mix them.
Just so to understand, so in the beginning you mentioned propaganda, like a work of art that could be propaganda. Do you think that if we use politics as a matter inside art, we are taking the risk, or maybe always falling into the place of propaganda? This is what you said in the beginning, or not?
Sorry, again, repeat again.
In the beginning you mentioned propaganda.
Yes,
you used this word.
Yeah.
So what I was wondering is, if when we use politics as a matter inside a work of art, we are taking the risk of doing propaganda always, or most part of the cases, or if you also see differences between a work of art that is very political or straightforward in a certain way, but doesn't fall into the place of propaganda.
Okay. To do art, it doesn't mean that you are neutral. This is nonsense. It means that you, of course, when I do theater or I do a piece, it's immediately you will know what is my political position, what I'm standing for, what I'm against for. But the issue is that I'm not here to convince you with what I believe or what I'm standing for. I'm not here to convince you. I am here to put between us another problematic. It's a problematic that I have no solution for it, or I don't have an answer for it. So I put it and try to open a debate with the audience. It doesn't need to be in a direct debate like now we're doing. It could be a debate between you, but I mean like something that open a debate, open a conversation, and a dialogue. So it's not to hide your position, but it's how you treat your topic, your subject.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much.